Hello, welcome back. We're talking about protein, and we do that because protein and net calories are going to drive 80% of your results. So, really important to get protein right. So, what is protein? Protein is consumed in our diet in order to replace slash build bodily tissues. However, if your body's not getting enough of it, your body will also source energy from protein. So, it's an energy source as well as a building block for bodily tissues. If you don't eat enough protein, your body will essentially waste your muscle mass away to preserve energy. And on the opposite end, if you were to overeat protein, then you're going to end up either building fat stores or simply excreting it in your urea. Okay, so we're going to talk about it in terms of building and maintaining muscle mass. The more muscle you have, the more energy you burn, the less fat you're going to have. When we're talking about protein in terms of vegetarianism, the pros being that it is low in markers of inflammation and low in cholesterol. The cons being vegetarian sources are very rarely complete, and we'll get into that. Soy being the only complete protein in vegetarian terms, or one of the, I think there's two. But yeah, this is the most popularly used. It has been proven to be high in isoflavones, which is linked to potentially increased chances of breast cancer. However, a moderate consumption of 2 portions a day is considered moderate and not high. Oats. Okay, oats are one of the healthiest grains, very high in nutrients, low in GI, which we'll talk about later on. Keeps you feeling full for longer, more so than any other breakfast food, which is awesome. Unfortunately, not always suitable for people who are gluten-free, but 100 grams of oats does have 16.9 grams of protein. Bodybuilder's delight. Peanuts, actually a legume, but people mostly consider peanuts to be a nut. High in nutrients and fiber, however, also high in calories, which is obviously not what you're looking for on a body tone journey. So I wouldn't really consider this to be a good source of protein, considering that 100 grams has near on 600 calories for 26 grams of protein. Lentils, very high in fiber, can help reduce blood pressure. They're not complete, unfortunately. Neither are legumes, which actually brings me on nicely to my next point, which is that you should eat your whole grains, such as rice, your oats, your wheat, your rye, your corn. You need to combine them with legumes, so nuts and seeds. So yeah, you need to combine vegetarian sources. That's where it gets more complicated. That's why soy is such a useful thing. Broccoli, yeah, for a vegetable high in protein, but to get 20 grams of protein, you need to eat half a kilogram. Moving on to less vegan friendly options. Low fat cottage cheese is an excellent supplement. Well, not supplement, but can be used as a supplement. It actually has something called casein in it, which means that if you eat it before bed, you will prevent catabolism, the breakdown of bodily muscle overnight. So really good. It's also very low in fat. 100 grams only has 85 calories and 14 grams of protein. Greek yogurt, similar, same but different. Milk, also relatively high in calories but high in protein as well. Eggs are a fantastic source of protein. The egg white themselves is where you'll find the protein. However, the yolk itself is quite calorific. Some people do separate the yolks for this reason, especially considering they say it's got high in cholesterol, but they're a low density lipoprotein, a form of cholesterol that is healthy. So it can actually lower your cholesterol. What you choose to eat your egg is more important than the actual egg in terms of cholesterol. For example, if you eat it with bacon, then yeah, you shouldn't be pointing the finger at the eggs in terms of cholesterol. In conclusion, don't separate your yolks unless you've actually been instructed to by a nutritionist, or you're eating them in excess of like 3 to 5 eggs a day, 4 eggs. Meat sources, the pros of which being they are more complete sources of protein, easier to reach your protein requirements. So that's obviously fantastic. When we're talking about the completeness of proteins, we're talking about their amino acid profile, which means meat proteins will have all of the essential amino acids that will promote muscle growth, whereas vegetable sources have to be combined with each other to form complete proteins. The cons being they're higher in inflammation and more likely to cause heart disease, stroke, due to normally higher levels of concentrated fat, like solid at room temperature, high in cholesterol, more likely to cause cancer as well in certain meats, most meats, I believe. So tuna, highest protein of any fish. It is 84% of its calories are from protein, so very lean. Cons being it's high in mercury, so you don't want to just eat tuna every day. Maybe try canned light, which has half the mercury of normal cans. But yeah, one can has 27 grams of protein for near on 150 calories. Salmon, best source of omega-3s, high in vitamins and minerals. It's very lean meat. The cons being fish farms use pesticides to keep the fish free of disease. So if you're concerned about chemical intake by wild-caught salmon, for example, if you're a pregnant lady, then you would probably not want to be eating too much pesticide. Chicken, pros. Chicken has 0 carbs. A lot of people don't know that. Very, very lean meat. Easy way to reach your daily protein without consuming extra calories. However, ethical questions are raised about caged animals, and raw chicken can harbour bacteria, so safe handling is a must. 27 grams of protein, so similar to that of tuna, 165 calories. A whole breast would be 31 grams of protein. Lean beef, I do stress lean, between 5 to 10% fat. It's a complete protein, high in creatine, even contains B12 if the cows are grass-fed. Unfortunately, this has been linked to high causes of bowel and other forms of cancer. High quantities of fat add to the calorie content as well. And red meats are higher in saturated fats, which are a bad form of fat that you don't really want to be eating on a regular. However, 100 grams has 26 grams of protein, 217 calories. Beef is also a very big polluter in terms of CO2, and it would be more favorable to consider the things lower down the list, like the chicken and the eggs were probably about, if my memory serves, probably 1/3 to half of the CO2 pollution of beef. Obviously very subjective to transport, etc. So yeah, that's some protein sources. Hopefully that helps.